Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the David Hittle Real Estate Show. I am your host, as always. I am David Hittle. It is Sunday, which means it's time for another show, and it is also Easter today. So, everyone, happy Easter. I hope that the Easter Bunny uh, blesses you with lots of Easter eggs to go and find, lots of those little chocolate things that we shouldn't eat very much of, apparently, and that your day is filled with happiness, joy, and peace. So, again, I am David Hittle. I am the host of the David Hittle Real Estate Show. I am a real estate agent with United Real Estate Louisville. And I ask that you please visit my website, shopkentuckyhomes.com, for any and all of your real estate needs. So, today we're going to talk about those individuals that are on the fence currently on whether or not to move this spring and what they should consider. Also, in the show today, how you can use your tax refund to achieve home ownership goals this year or to help with your home ownership goals. And finally, where are mortgage rates headed? So let's get started on this Sunday, this Easter Sunday. Let's begin. So maybe you are one of those individuals that are on the fence about whether or not to move this year. If you are thinking of selling your home, it may be because you've heard that prices are rising, which is true. Listings are selling fast, which is also true, and sellers are getting multiple offers on their homes, which is also true. The average now for offers on homes is 4.8. So almost five offers for every home that's on the market. But the question is, why are conditions so good for sellers today? And what can you expect when you move? So, to answer both those questions, we need data. We need data. So we talked about this a little bit last week, but we're going to talk about it again. Buyer and seller traffic. So here in Kentucky, we have what they consider to be very strong buyer traffic. This means that there are a lot of buyers looking for homes, and those buyers are going on showings and going inside and actually looking at homes and eventually making offers on homes. However, something that has changed over the past few months and actually past couple years is the seller traffic. So, seller traffic all over the country, including Kentucky, has been very weak. That means that there are not a lot of sellers putting their homes on the market for sale. However, this has now shifted here in Kentucky. Here in Kentucky, we now have a stable seller traffic. This means that inventory is going up at a stable rate compared to the buyers that are here. So buyer traffic still very strong, but seller traffic is starting to get stable. And I believe this is because we are starting to finally see more homes hit the market for sale. However, it is still not enough to deal with the number of buyers that are also trying to buy. Everyone from individuals that are leaving the big city because of restrictions, because of taxes. Maybe they are now a remote job, so they don't have to live in the big city and pay the big city prices. They can now live, say, Kentucky and still make New York money in Kentucky. The best of both worlds. Pay Kentucky taxes rather than New York taxes, but you're still working in New York. But what this means for a home seller is that it is an incredible opportunity and a great advantage to sell your home in this type of market because buyer demand is so high at this time and seller traffic is still so low. There's a good chance that you will have buyers competing for your home. And again, I said this a little earlier, according to the National Association of Realtors, in February, the average home sold got 4.8 offers. So almost 5 offers on your home. So when buyers have to compete like they are having to compete today, they'll do almost anything and everything they can to make their offer stand out. So they are waiving things like contingencies. Bad idea for these buyers, but they're doing it. They're waiving contingencies such as appraisal gaps so that if the appraisal comes in low, they'll still pay above that appraised price. Bad idea. Why would you ever want to pay more than a home is worth? You don't. Don't do that. They're waiving things like home inspection. A home can be brand new, a 2022 home. You should still have a home inspection. There are still things that are in there that our normal eyes, even a realtor, can't see or don't see that the home inspector's job is to catch. So waiving these type of contingencies is bad. Of course, people are offering over asking price, which is nothing new, and earnest money deposits are going higher, which also is nothing new. Selling when demand is high and supply is low sets you up for a big win. But on the other side of that coin, if you are also looking to buy a house, so you're selling one and buying one, you may be tempted to focus more on just the seller traffic than the buyer traffic. But remember, when you're selling a home, it's going to sell fairly quickly. But if you're buying an existing home, that is going to be slightly harder. So in those type of situations where if you're not in a hurry and you don't want to have to deal with multiple offers and you don't want to have to deal with um, being outbid or bidding over asking price and your budget allows for it, I'm telling people look at new construction. New construction is a great alternative to having to find an existing home and then bid on it, get outbid, look for another one, get outbid, look for another one. Instead of having to go through all that, we go with a new construction home, get the price dialed in. It's going to be that price. It's not going to go up if you use a reputable home builder. And they can be building your home while you are packing your stuff and preparing your home for sale. It is a win-win, and it is a great alternative for those who can afford that. Danielle Hill, the chief economist over at Realtor, said the limited number of homes for sale is a lesson in perspective. This same statistic that frustrates would be home buyers also means that today's home sellers enjoy more limited competition than last year's home sellers. So if you look at the big picture, the opportunity is that you have as a seller today is unprecedented. And it's getting weirder and weirder each year that I'm in real estate. Last year was a hot seller's market. This year inventory is lower, and that means an even bigger opportunity for you. So even though finding your next home in a market with low inventory can be a challenge, The concern may be worth passing on some of the best condition sellers have ever seen. So, as added peace of mind, remember that you're a real estate professional, and we have been juggling this imbalance of supply and demand for nearly 2 years now. And we know how to help both our buyers and our sellers find success when they move. So, your skilled real estate agent will help you capitalize on the great opportunity you have as a seller today and guide you through the buying process until you find the perfect place to call your next home. And that's what I do. That is my job as a real estate agent, is to put your needs ahead of anybody else's and to make sure that you have the best knowledge, the best information, and the best understanding possible so that you can make an informed decision. I'm not here to pressure you into a decision. I'm here to give you the facts and let you tell me what you want to do, and then we go and do that together. So it's always important that you have a realtor that has the heart of a teacher rather than a realtor who's just a salesperson. If you have a realtor that is just a salesperson, then they're just gonna tell you all the good stuff. Yeah, that home is beautiful. Yeah, it's worth 150,000. Sure. It's worth 250,000. Sure. It's worth 400,000. Yeah, we could go over this price. It's worth it. But when you work with a realtor who has the heart of a teacher, when you go see that home, your realtor is there to say, they want $200,000 for this house, but in my research, the research I've done, this home is only worth 180,000. Now, we're not likely to win this house at 180,000. So I would suggest we go and find a home that is more valued, that's in a better value proposition. Your realtor with a heart of a teacher is always looking out for you and making sure that you are getting the best deal, the best information all the time. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. So, if you are in need of a real estate professional or you know someone who is, please send them to my website. My website's easy. It's shopkentuckyhomes.com. Shop Kentucky Homes, all spelled out, all together. Shopkentuckyhomes.com. And on that website, they can get a hold of me and they can get all sorts of information about what is happening in our local market and what they can do and what I can do for them. So, it is almost tax day. Tomorrow is the last day to file your taxes. Oh, I could tell you so many stories about how wonderful this tax year was, but I'll save it. Maybe if you're getting a tax refund, maybe you can put that tax refund to good use. Now, some people, they'll take their tax refund and they will put it in their savings account and hold on to it for a long time. That's what me and my wife did last year. Some people will take that refund, take that tax refund, and use it as use it for a purchase of a large item, maybe furniture, maybe a car. Some people will use that tax refund to pay down a bunch on their mortgage. That's an amazing idea. And then finally, some people could use their tax refund to achieve their home ownership goals this year. So, if you are thinking of buying or selling a home this year, you're likely saving up for a variety of expenses. When you are looking to buy a home, you have things such as a down payment, you have closing costs, those type of things that you have to pay for at closing. For buyers, again, that includes things like down payment and closing costs. For sellers, you're probably working on a bit of spring cleaning and maintenance to spruce up your house before you list it. Either way, any money you get back from your taxes can help you achieve your goals. So, according to Smart Asset, the average American will receive $2,897 tax refund this year. And looking here at Kentucky, our average tax refund is just about that at $2,755. So, what can $2,755 really do? Well, $2,755 is about half of the typical closing costs at my local lender, my preferred lender. A little over half of what the normal closing costs happen to be. It can also be a somewhat uh, small chunk, but a chunk of down payment. So if you have to have a $10,000 down payment for the house you're wanting to purchase, then $2,755 is a good chunk of that. It's about a quarter of that, actually. So your tax refund can help you in that situation. And then, of course, if you own a home, your mortgage is likely not $2,755. So if you were to put, just say, $2,000 towards your mortgage, that could help pay your mortgage off a lot faster. So again, how buyers can use their tax refund to help achieve their home ownership goals is about growing your down payment fund. If you haven't started your down payment, your tax refund could be a good start. Paying for your home inspection. Those here in Kentucky are about $500. So if you are in the process of purchasing a home and you needed some pocket money, your realtor should have told you you're going to need some pocket money. But if they didn't, then you can use some of your home, some of your tax refund towards your home inspection. And then finally, again, saving for closing costs. Closing costs average between 2 and 5% of the purchase price of your home. So it's a great place to start there with your tax refund. If you're thinking of selling, maybe you can make some small upgrades to your house, small projects, boosting your curb appeal. That helps your home stand out, making some repairs, or buying your next home. You use it as a down payment for your next home. Of course, it's always important to talk with your real estate advisor, your real estate professional, the realtor with the heart of a teacher before taking on any projects, because you may not need to do that if you're thinking of selling your home. They will also be able to make sure that you focus on the right areas so that you receive the best possible price when you do sell. So, again, funding a home purchase or sale can feel like a daunting task, but it doesn't have to be. And your tax refund can help you reach your goals this year. And that's absolutely the case. Absolutely true. Is you have to focus on the things that you can control and not so much focus on things you can't control. So if you get a tax refund and you are financially stable, you don't need that money for something immediate, then savings of your refund, new down payment for your next home, paying down your mortgage, all really, really good things to do. So over the past couple of years, it has been a really chaotic housing market. 2 years ago, back in 2020, It looked like it was gonna be a wildfire housing market. Mortgage interest rates were low. Housing inventory was actually somewhat high. We had a lot more inventory back then than we do today. Um, but then in about the spring of 2020, this pandemic hit, and this pandemic messed with the housing market. It messed with inventory. It messed with home buyers, and it kind of threw a wrench into the system. What would have been, or what was going to be, a really great housing market um, got kind of turned upside down. By 2021, people were kind of sick and tired of it. So they started to get going again, and started the housing market for 2021 beat 2020. It was a great year for housing. Mortgage interest rates were at an all time low. They were at 2.65% in January of 2021. However, today we're seeing a ton of home buyers, not very many home sellers, and the one difference is that home mortgage interest rates are rising, and they are rising crazily. There's never been a truer statement regarding forecasting mortgage rates than the one offered by Mark Fleming. He's the chief economist at First American. And he says, the fallacy of economic forecasting is don't ever try and forecast interest rates, and or more specifically, if you're a real estate economist, mortgage rates, because you will always invariably be wrong. Well, I don't know that they are going to get it too wrong, because I predict, as a non real estate economist, I predict mortgage interest rates are going to end the year really, really high. Coming into this year, most experts projected mortgage rates would gradually increase and end 2022 in the high 3% range. They were wrong. It's only April, and rates have already blown past those numbers. And this week, Freddie Mac announced, for the first time in years, mortgage interest rates hit 5%. Mortgage interest rates this week did hit 5%. And on April 5th, they were quoted as a rate of 5.02%. So no one knows how swiftly mortgage rates will rise moving forward. However, I would suggest, and the two are not tied together, but they sort of are. The Federal Reserve is planning on raising their interest rate, uh, the government bond rate. They are planning on raising by a half a percentage in their next meeting, which I believe is in May or late April. So they raised their interest rate by a quarter of a percent, 0.25, last month. And now and we see what rates have done, and now they are planning on raising it by a 50th of a point, or 0.50, two quarters of a percent. So if the quarter percent rise took us from 3 point whatever to 5, who knows what a half a percent is going to do? Is this going to take it from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7? Who knows? But the Federal Reserve, with these interest rate hikes, they are trying to stagnate the inflation that we're seeing. They're trying to mess with inflation in the economy, but at the same time, they are going to cause the housing market to take an incredible hit because of rising mortgage interest rates. People are not going to be able to afford it. Again, no one knows how swiftly mortgage rates will rise moving forward. However, at least to this point, they haven't significantly impacted purchaser demand. And that is true. While some buyers are going to get priced out of the market because the mortgage interest rate tied into their monthly payment is going to be too high, it's going to make their monthly payment too high. It hasn't significantly impacted the purchaser demand. Ali Wolf, the chief economist at Zonda, says mortgage rates jumped much quicker and much higher than even the most aggressive forecasts called for at the end of last year. And yet, housing demand appears to be holding steady. So here's what could happen. I'll give my prediction. Here's what could happen. If mortgage rates rose sky high, like they touch 6 or 7%, there are going to be some home buyers that will purchase their homes anyway. Sellers will sell their home with a lower interest rate currently. They will buy a new home with a higher interest rate, but they're going to be putting down a rather large down payment, so it will mess with those numbers too, and it will we will continue. Another situation could be that if enough home buyers are priced out of this market, then the home price appreciation may actually start to depreciate a little bit. We may see home prices come down slightly. I don't believe that they're going to come down a lot, and they have only dropped significantly over the past 70 years once, and that was in the 2008 bubble. But that was caused by different things than what we have today. So, February home prices and the number of showings and the number of homes receiving multiple offers all saw substantial increases. But of course, back in February, we were dealing with 3% interest rates. So, as these interest rates rise, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with home buyers and whether demand starts to fall. All the maps that we're seeing is not showing any sort of buyer traffic reduction. However, the what is happening in this market on what is going to happen with these mortgage interest rates and what's going to happen with home buyers is to be seen. We will not know the true impact of the increase in mortgage rates until the March housing numbers become available in early May. However, Rick Sharga, the EVP, uh, I think that's the economic vice president of market intelligence at ATTOM Data, recently said historically low mortgage rates and higher wages helped offset rising home prices over the past few years. But as home prices continue to soar and interest rates approach 5% on a 30-year fixed, more consumers are going to struggle to find a property that they can comfortably afford. And that's the downside right now, is that the government through the Federal Reserve is going to be interfering and going to be messing with this housing market. This incredibly hot housing market may actually start to cool. And in doing so, it will make it easier for the home buyers who can afford to pay these mortgage interest rates and to pay those monthly payments. Um, and it will harm the home sellers that are then going to have to go and find a new house. But again, once they sell their house, they'll have a nice down payment for their new house, which will somewhat circumvent all of that stuff as well. It's going to be interesting what happens this year, and I look forward to helping each and every one of you with your real estate needs. So, if you do have a real estate need that I can help you with, or maybe you have a question that you would like an answer to, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available to help my friends and uh, fellow real estate gurus. I'm always here to help, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So, for David Hittle with United Real Estate Louisville, happy Easter, everyone. It's also National Kickball Day, in case you are interested. But more importantly, it is Easter, and I hope you all have an amazing day spent with family, spent with friends, and spent with chasing colorful eggs all around the yard. Until next Sunday, I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week. Have an amazing day.